So I've just finished creating the rest of the animation. My main menu comes in, and then it has a transition to my submenu. Now, of course, I can add a whole bunch of other things to this to make it much more exciting. Video and audio, of course. And audio is one of those things that I really missed mentioning. So if you are going to import some audio files, make sure that you find the right types of files. Of course, on the StuData, we have some sample resources, which are freeplaymusic.com, and you'll see that they come in at different speeds, or some of them are 15 seconds long, some are 30 seconds long. Of course, you can use your own music to bring in, but I should point out that it's a good idea for you to go ahead and import your audio before you do your animations. That way you can make sure that your animations are fitting the exact length of your audio for everything that happens. And of course you can just bring in the audio, and you can actually mark markers on the audio itself just by using the star key where you want. And that way you can maybe listen to the audio and maybe its animation is longer or shorter than 5 seconds for everything to enter. So where your markers are exactly doesn't really matter as long as everything is lining up properly. Actually, I'm going to leave my audio file in here. I might go ahead and put my audio at the top or at the bottom. Doesn't really matter because since it's not something you see. One thing that you are going to want to do, though, is lock it so that we can't interact with it. Because once we lay it down there, we want to make sure it's going to stay exactly in the same spot. And of course, if you want to hear the audio here forward, press the Del key on your numpad. So that will allow you to listen to it, and you can change the length of your audio preview in your preferences. Anyway, I finished a little bit more animation, like I said, and I did it pretty much the same way. I started with duplicating some of the text items and using those end keyframes, and then just animating to the new motion, such as I started with the submenu animation being at the end, and then I animated it backwards to come in. So there's a very simple transition between my two menus. Of course, we could fade out our background or whatever. Fade to a different background. So I'm about ready to start outputting my regular DVD, or the sections I need. And so I want to point out that you can press the B and the N keys to mark on your timeline where to start and end. So if I press the N key right now, that means that it will end at 30 seconds, and now I can go ahead and do Control M to make a movie, and I've actually output a few different ones already. So let's get back to just the one. Check out your render settings. We have a few different presets. The one that you're going to want to make sure that you use is DV settings, and the reason why is because the DV settings have the field rendering turned on, and otherwise it's not turned on. So typically you're going to want that field rendering when you're rendering your DVDs. For your output modules, I've already made a DVD wide, but we need to create a template. So I can create a template. Let's go to Edit, and I'm going to make sure that I choose MPEG-2 DVD, and this will come up with the settings. Maybe it won't. So I'll press on. It used to come up with the settings, I guess, the first time you do it. So I'm going to change a couple things about it. With video, I'm going to take my quality up to 5 instead of being a little bit different. Make sure that widescreen is set because that's the type of setting that I have currently. Let's choose the type of encoding, constant bit rate or variable bit rate. I'm going to use the constant bit rate and keep it up about 6. Because this is animation, I want to make sure that I'm really keeping that quality throughout. For my audio, I'm going to use PCM, and then I go to multiplexer, and you'll see it's set to none. That way it'll render out an audio file and a video file, but they'll be separate files. The next thing that I want to do is, I'm not really sure about this, if I need that XMP metadata. I'm not sure that's needed, but who knows. I'm not even sure that I need that. The next thing, let's see, RGB, millions of colors, we'll definitely need that, and we need our audio, which is 48 kilohertz, 16-bit stereo, so that's excellent, everything that we need. Let's click OK, and make sure that we rename this. I might call it MPEG-2 wide. or DVD wide, whatever you want to call it. That way, at least you have a setting that you can use. Now, if I go to my DV settings, and I just open up that, you'll notice that it says 0 to 30 seconds. Now, if we go ahead and press render, it will go ahead and change that. But let's just decide that we want to maybe change where our beginning and ending starts real quick. I might just zoom in, and I'll hit the N key. Let's see, the N key for there, the B key for the beginning. I'm going to go back to my render queue, and I want you to be aware that it will automatically change when you have an open comp like this. It'll automatically change what's going on there unless you actually set those manually. If I do DVD settings and go to custom and I type in the numbers that I want, this goes from 0 to 30 seconds, and click OK, you'll see that it will actually keep those settings. Then if I make a new document based upon the old, so everything's based upon what we just had, then I can go back, change this to the settings that I want. It'll go from 30 to 33. Oops, starts from 30. Sorry, and go to 33. Okay. So now I can open up those settings, and you'll see that goes 0 to 30, that goes 30 to 33. So I've got the different sections. I will go ahead and make sure I give the names that I need. So this is the DVD main menu anim, and I've already rendered that out before. And this is going to be main menu. Let's see, maybe I'll just call it sub menu 1, sub 1 transition, or trans. And then I'm ready to render. Click on render. Ooh, and look at that. I got some sort of error. Oh, it didn't like to render. It did not like to write over an existing file. So that was kind of a mistake I didn't even think about. So make sure that you don't render over existing files because it doesn't like that. But here's what it did render for the other one, the transition. Here's my MPEG-2 file. There's my WAV file. Now it also renders some other things, XMP, SES. Those are different temporary files, and I'm not really even sure what they're used for. So I go ahead and delete them, because all you need is the MPEG-2 and the WAV sound, and then you are ready. So hopefully this gives you an idea about how to cut up your animation and render it to the DVD settings. Make sure that you're rendering it from not your square comp, but your 720 by 480 DV NTSC square, or I'm sorry, NTSC wide, or regular NTSC 4x3, if that's how you're using it, and you should be able to get what you need. Now, it also might be nice for you to render out still graphics occasionally. So if you're doing that, all you have to do is go to the point where you want to render still graphic, go up to composition, save frame as, and you can save either the frame as a simple file or as Photoshop layers. So it's pretty flexible what you can do. And hopefully that gives you an insight as to how to get your project done. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.